morning, La. My name is Kitso Jitsenfelden. I currently study 11 Science B at Mutatang Higher Secondary School. And today we have Dr. Tandin here with us, La. Could you kindly introduce yourself to the camera and to the audience as well, La?
Kuzambola, my name is Dr. Tandin Dorji, and I'm the chairperson of the Mutatang High School School Management Board. And I'm very happy to be here to be interviewed by Kitso.
Yes, thank you so much, La. My first question would be a very simple question, La. What do you think of, La, when you hear about Mutatang Higher Secondary School, La?
Many people may not know this, but my house is just next to Mutatang High School.
Yes.
And I've grown up when the school was being established.
Yes.
And I've seen the progress made by Mutatang High School over all these years.
Yes.
All my siblings and all my relatives have studied here. For me personally, I did not study here because I was sent to boarding school to India when I was very small. But my brother, my sisters, my cousins all have studied in this school.
Yes.
In fact, my sister actually is a teacher. She teaches economics in Mutatang High School.
Yes.
And I'm very, very happy to see that Mutatang High School over the years has turned out to be one of the best schools in the country, which is obvious because every parent wants their child to be admitted to Mutatang High School. And it's not only because of the academic progress and the academic excellence that the students have excelled in, but also as a school that graduates very promising young people and who've gone on to do many great things for this country, not only in Bhutan but also abroad. And so when I hear about Mutatang High School, I think of a premier school in Bhutan that is doing very well. And for that, I would like to thank all past teachers and present teachers who have done tremendous work ensuring that the school has come to where it is now.
Thank you, La. As you've mentioned earlier, La, you've been sent to boarding, right, La, when you were very young, La. So when you were sent to boarding in India, in a place that isn't actually home, how do you think that affected or helped you become the person you are today, La?
I would say that I was very fortunate to have been given the opportunity to study boarding school abroad. At that time, I'm talking about the early 1970s, many students were being sent abroad, and I was one of those fortunate ones, which I'm ever grateful. And boarding school is a little different from Mutatang High School, which is a day school. But the school that I went to, which is in Darjeeling, it's called St. Joseph School, North Point, which was considered one of the very good schools. In fact, His Majesty The King did study in that school for about a year. And so that school has shaped me who I am because, as I mentioned earlier also, it's not only about the academic push that the teachers usually do in schools, but it's also about building character. It's about helping others, excelling in sports, extracurricular activities. And I think basically our education system should be promoting a person to be a good human being. And I think today, as far as I can see, whatever I am, it's largely because of the learning that I had in that school. And I'm quite confident that Mutatang also is providing those same, they're teaching the same things to the students here. The only difference, as I said, is boarding. So in the boarding school, you have to live with your fellow students. And I spent 10 years in that school. So you, besides just studying, you get to know each other, you start building character, building lifelong friendship. And so that has helped me to be who I am today. But Mutatang High School is doing the same with the limited interaction between the teachers and the students.
Yes, thank you, La. My third question, La, which would be my second last question, is going to be, what are in general any 4 characteristics that you, Dr. La, personally think a student must have to excel
Okay.
in general? Yes, La.
Okay, just let me
Think.
give me time to think, because you
Yes,
said
La.
4. But
Yes, La.
I will start by what I did when I was a student.
Yes.
I think the first and foremost is, as a student, your main responsibility is to do well in your studies. And I think
Yes.
for that you need to be hardworking, and I'm telling the others later, but when I say hardworking, it's to be attentive in class, to
Yes.
listen to your teachers, to follow the teachings very closely, to make sure that you revise them. And that's your first responsibility, to study
Yes.
and
Yes,
to
La.
do your best.
Yes, La.
So that requires some amount of hard work. The second characteristic, I think, is to learn to be a good person, to help others. If you're struggling, not to shy away to ask. Don't be shy to ask questions to your teachers. Seek help from your friends. If you're one of the better students, you help the weaker students.
Yes, La.
And this one teaches you to be a very helpful person and to be a good person. I think third is on your health.
Yes.
When you're young, you often take your health as granted. You think you're healthy. But the important thing is to, from very early on in age, to start taking care of your health. So you should exercise regularly, be active, take part in sports,
Yes.
eat healthy,
Yes.
stay away from drugs,
Yes.
stay away from alcohol, don't get into substance abuse. So that is the third advice that I would say. And the fourth and most important, I think, is to have a clear vision and ambition about where you are heading in life.
Yes.
When you're young, you don't know, but as you reach the 9th and 10th standard, you should start thinking about what you are going to do ultimately and work towards your goals. So at that time, you will have several ambitions. You cannot narrow it down. But for example, you are very aware whether you want to go into the science stream or whether you want to do commerce or arts, or maybe even it could also be into skilling yourself.
Yes.
So I think there are some more I can talk about, but for
Yes.
me, I followed those very closely. And I would like to tell all our students and the young people that being very hardworking, being a very good person, to be taking care of your health, and to have a clear vision about
Yes.
where you're heading and work towards that goal diligently.
Yes, La. Yes, thank you so much, La, for sharing that. Okay, La, my last question, it's actually more of a request, La. It is, sorry, La, I'm stuttering so much. I'd like to ask you to share any message that you would like to, La, to all the youth and students in general, La.
Okay, so this I've been telling when I was serving as a minister in the government in the past, and I used to travel around the schools. I used to say, I used to give them this advice, besides what I just said. But I think the youth and the students of today have got a very powerful instrument in their hands, which did not exist during our time. And that is the power of information. And today, with internet and the availability of information online, it is so vast and immense that you could practically learn anything that you wanted using the internet. But I wanted to say that you should use the power of information to help you learn and not waste time on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram. Of course, these are important, but I think you should use the internet wisely for your benefit, and not spend some time, but don't waste too much time on using screen time on things that will not benefit you in the long term. So, of course, I am aware also that the social media platform has opportunities for people to excel in those fields and make money. For those of you who have the knack and who have the skills and want to pursue this, I would encourage you to learn more about the technology behind it and how to improve it. What I'm just saying is to waste time making useless TikToks and chatting on not so important topics. So this is one of the things that I would like to advise all our young people, to use the power of information that is in the palm of your hands for building yourself and heading towards a very good future.
Yes, la. Thank you so much for sharing all your kind words, la, and all your knowledge, la, that you have.
Thank you.
Thank you for being with us here today, la, despite your busy schedule.
Thank you, Kitso.
And I'd also like to thank you for being such an inspiring model, la, for
Thank you.
all the youth, la.
Thank you, Kitso.
Yes, you're welcome, Doctor. Yes, la, thank you, la.
Lasla.
Yes.